Hi, thanks for stopping by. I'm just going to take a couple of minutes to introduce the performance functionality in People and how you can implement that for yourself. So right now I'm logged in as an administrator and I've gone to Amelia's record here. And you'll notice on the bottom left we have the performance option. So let's click on that and go into there. And within the performance option we have the ability to look at current active reviews and also historic past reviews. So I'm going to concentrate on the current active reviews. And in fact, there's already one active review open here. We can see there's some progress being made, but there's no overall score by the employee. It's still open, and the manager hasn't done anything either. It's still open. So let's take a look at that. And we can see right here at the moment, the performance process is partway through. We've got some tick buttons. So I'm going to help Amelia finish that off in a moment. But let's just explore this screen. So on the top right, we've got the option to print. We can also delete, and that means we're going to have to start again. And because I'm the administrator, I can flip and see the employee's comments, the manager's comments, and I can also see any 360 feedback which actually has been received for this particular individual. So let's just go back to the employee, and I'm just going to finish this off. So I'll go to segment 7, which isn't complete yet. 3 questions are complete, so I'll pop over to the 4th one. And here we go. So leading others. Give recent examples of demonstrating strong leadership skills. Okay, I did the following. I won't complete all of this, but it gives you an idea. So once I've filled in the question, I hit save. 4's marked with a tick. I've now got a slider question. Rate how well you encourage feedback and input from others around you. Okay, I think she's pretty good at that. Okay, some supporting comments. And I'm going to hit save. So notice now we've got all 7 segments complete, but we haven't yet given an overall score. So I'm just going to pop into the overview and give an overall score, and I'm going to choose from the 5 here. I'm going to choose exceeds expectations. Yeah, really good progress because, oops, and we've just got some typos there. So let's just go ahead and correct those. Okay, so once I've done that and I hit save, you'll notice a new button appears just up here, share. So what we can do now and what the employee can do is share the review with the manager. So that's exactly what will happen. I'll hit yes. The manager will get an email saying that Amelia has shared the review. You can log in as a manager then and review exactly what Amelia has said about herself. Okay. Now, this can't be amended now because it's been shared. So the next thing here really is to unshare it if we want to amend it. And again, the manager will get an email to say that the review has been unshared, make the amendments and share it. So the process really here is that the employee will complete their own review, a self-assessment. They will share that with the manager. The manager will complete their side of the review, which is exactly the same questions, and give an overall score. And then share that with the employee. Once the employee and the manager has reviewed the information between themselves, they can sit down and the manager will then have a new option here called lock review. And lock review will close the review down and it won't be able to be amended by either the employee or the manager. In fact, the only person who can do anything with it is the administrator. Now, one option you'll notice here is 360. So as a manager, I can also decide to invite other people in to give feedback. And what will actually happen is both of these individuals get a nice little email from the system saying, hey, do you mind giving feedback on Amelia? They'll be able to do that from within the email and press send, or they can decline the invite, in which case we'll see that there. Once the actual questions have been answered, we'll be able to review them here, and it's up to the manager to share those with the employee in an appropriate fashion. Okay. So let's go and have a look at some of the mechanics behind the actual process, because we had a look and we saw these 7 segments, and then within each of the segments we saw multiple questions. Well, the system's really flexible and it'll allow you to actually define the number of segments and the questions within the segment. So we do that in the settings area. So let's just pop into there, and you can see we've got this new option called performance. So within the settings area, I'll just ignore the top part of the screen for the moment. You can see we've got our overall ratings, and there's some handy little help here to help you to fill the information in. And then we've got the 7 segments which we saw, strategic and critical thinking all the way through to teamwork. And in fact, we've also got other segments, because we have different types of questions, for the 360 area. So if we go and have a look at one of the segments, and I'll take a look at strategic and critical thinking, I'll just click edit here. So that's my segment title, that's my segment description. I can see I've got 3 questions in this segment. And I can add more questions, so let's go ahead and do that. Question is, how well did you do X? Okay, and then we have some help text to actually help the employee. Provide examples of, and we can fill that in. Now the next bit here is important because this will determine whether they have a question that has a slider with a rating or just a text box. If you have a slider question, there's also a text box underneath it. And the core value is really important, and we'll see that in a moment. We can choose from either one of the core values that we've created here, or you can manage this list and add your own. And what will actually happen is later on we'll be able to see who's in the top 10 for those core values. So I'll go right ahead and say this question is really related to strategy, and I'll add that in. And what I can do here as well, I really want that question to be the second question along so I can reorder things. So that's it. And next time the performance reviews run, that's the questions that will be asked. But right now, I'll just go ahead and delete that because I wasn't too sure about it. Okay, so that's how you manage your segments and how you manage your questions. And in fact, you can reorder things like segments as well. So it makes it really nice and easy for you to maintain and manage this list. And I do expect that you will change the questions and the segments throughout the years. Right at the top here is we've got an option to either turn the performance system off, in which case employees and managers won't have any access to the screens I've just shown you, or to turn it on and then send an email to all of your employees to say that a performance review is due. Now when you press that button, what will happen is every employee will get an email, and in that email it will say, please complete your performance review before this date, so the completion date. Okay, so it's a really handy way. And you don't need to worry about chasing people up. The system will automatically check if performance reviews have started, if they're waiting to be shared, if they're being completed, and it will send emails out to employees and managers reminding them that they've got to do this. But we can see in a moment how we can check on progress there. So that's a setup. Now, as a manager and as an admin, you also get the option to go into the performance summary screens, which is what I've just clicked on here on the left. As a manager, I'll only see the information about my team. As an admin, you see everything here. So the first dashboard screen is just telling us that we've actually got 58 reviews outstanding still. So 100% of our employees have got to actually complete the process. So that might be a little bit concerning if we're quite far down in the review cycle, especially as we've only got 1 day remaining to do that. Okay. So I'm just going to click on here. It takes me to the second dashboard screen, and I can see a list of employees here, and I can apply some quick filters. So I can say, well, okay, well, who's not started their review? And I can just click down here and choose that particular set of individuals. Or I can say, well, who's actually started their review and they've shared it and the manager's shared it. Or I can check to see who's actually closed. Okay, so that's a really handy way of just checking the different statuses. The third screen, which is available to you and the managers, is the core strengths. So remember when we were defining the question, we actually had the different core strengths that you could assign to a slider question. Well, that's what happens now. So I'm able to go in and say, well, I want to see who's in the top 10 for strategy. And the system will accumulate all the strategy questions, create an average, and then give me a ranked table. So I can say, well, okay, well, strategy is important, but actually productivity is important as well. So who's in the top 10 for that? So you can see now we're starting to combine core values and core strengths to get some interesting rankings here. Okay. The final screen in the dashboard really starts to work when you've got more than one review period. So really, if you review twice a year, then it's really useful to see this after your second review. And what happens here is really about comparing your current review against your previous review. So we'll be able to see top improvers because we can see what the previous value was, what the new value was. we'll be able to see those people who haven't really changed much, who are most consistent. I can scroll through this list. We'll see those who dropped, so where there's been a real reduction in ranking. And then finally we can just see all employees. So right now I haven't got many reviews, so I'm not seeing much data, but this will really start to come alive as you go through your review process. Okay, so that's the review mechanism at a very high level. What I do suggest is you take a look at the mission, you take a look at the worksheets we provided you with. What we can also do is we can provide you with extra assistance and help. So if you need that, then just drop us an email to customerservices@peoplehr.com and we'll get together with you on the phone and just walk you through the options. I hope you found this useful. Thank you.